It's that time of year again. You know, it's starting to get colder out again, summer's over, the kids have been back in school, the young adults have been back in college, but the Call of Duty beta is out. Well, was out. The beta overall, I think it was pretty interesting. There was a lot of good things, there was a lot of bad things. Personally, for me, it was a big improvement on Modern Warfare 2019 because I gotta be completely honest, I was not a fan of that game. To me, the time to kill was just way too fast, map design was poor, and a lot of other things. But overall, I think that this game is a step up from that. So in this video, we'll go over things, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'll let you guys know what I think about the game. I want to start this off on more of a positive note, and I will say that graphically, this game looks so much better for me than Modern Warfare 2019. The gray and the brown kind of colors just didn't give off good vibes for me. It made it difficult to see people also. I feel like in this game, it is so much easier to see enemies and stuff, and also I do like the vibe that brighter colors do bring to a game. And besides the visual recoil, I think that gunplay in this game is even better than Modern Warfare 2019, which was already great. Every gun class feels super distinctive. ARs feel like ARs, pistols feel like pistols. It's great that they were able to improve on something that was already good. Also, weapon inspects look absolutely phenomenal in this game. I think that they're probably some of the best weapon inspects that we've seen in games. They are that good. If you have the time, search up Modern Warfare 2 weapon inspect videos, and you'll see what I mean. The movement system for me is fine in this game. I'm still not the biggest fan of tac sprinting, mostly because of the wear and tear it's had on my controller in the past. I want to say I went through 2 controllers during the Modern Warfare 2019 life cycle just because of having to constantly slam down the left joystick. So in this game, I'm just going to constantly play with auto tac sprint on. Slide canceling is pretty much gone from this game. Some people found ways to bring it back, I guess, or break the game. And I mean, I kind of hope that they patch it. I was never really a fan of slide canceling in Modern Warfare 2019. It just felt like an unnecessary way to effectively get around the map. It just felt so extra. For me, it was cool, you know this button combo to move around the map faster than everyone else. I don't want to do it with you because I find it annoying. When I heard that they were going to add dolphin diving back, I kind of had a feeling that it wasn't going to be that practical, similar to how it was in older games, but actually, it's almost tactical in this game. When you're getting shot at, you can dolphin dive out of the way, and sometimes it does work. They also added a new mantle mechanic where your character kind of hangs from a wall, and then if you have a pistol, you can peek over it and shoot. I didn't really find it that practical. We'll kind of have to see how it works when the actual game comes out. The game mode selection for the beta was also great. They had some new modes like third person mode, which I really enjoyed. I didn't get to play a ton of it, but I really enjoyed it. They also had some new one life modes, which I kind of think was a way to be like, hey, Rainbow Six Siege players, we have something for you. I enjoy when games are willing to experiment in betas and really put everything out there so everyone can try, an aspect of the game. This was probably the first COD beta for me where once it was over, I felt like I actually got to experience enough of the game to be able to make a well-informed decision on whether to buy the game or not. Map design was okay. 100% an improvement though from Modern Warfare 2019, which I thought the majority of the maps were horrible.
And I've got to say, in all honesty, it's the biggest piece of dog shit.
The maps had virtually no flow to them. They were giant and did not fit a 6v6 format, or really any format. The maps just kind of sucked. So the maps were an improvement off of Modern Warfare 2019, but the maps still feel kind of weird to me. I'm not really sure how they want me to move around the map. Flank routes don't really feel like flank routes. There's so many spots where guys can just sit and just be in such a better position to engage in a gunfight than someone who is trying to move around the map. But I do think that there are some other factors that make it difficult to move around maps that we'll get into later, like time to kill, certain equipment, and other things. Speaking of equipment, they did add some anti-camper equipment like the drill charge, but I'm pretty sure once you throw down a trophy system, like any grenade in COD, it gets taken care of. I'm sure by now some of you people can already tell by the tone of my voice that this video is going to start to kind of go towards the negative sides, and just a quick disclaimer is, for me at least, I'm always going to talk more about negatives than positives, because positives I enjoy, you know, I love them and I want them to stay the way they are. And negatives, I feel like I can elaborate on a little more and explain the things that I really don't like. They completely revamped the perk system, which I didn't really see a reason why. It's kind of like one of those things in COD where every couple years, for some reason, they just decide to redo it for really no reason, even if the system was in a good spot beforehand. Basically, the new system is there's different level of perks, and you unlock them progressively throughout the map. You spawn in with a certain 2 perks, and then you can earn your other 2 perks, I believe, through getting kills or score per minute. It's something like that. It's just kind of a weird system. It's not necessarily bad, it's just I didn't really see the point of them changing it. They also changed how you unlock and level up weapons from the traditional format. Now, weapons are in a family tree and they all have different receivers. So the MP5 has an AR, has a battle rifle, they all have different versions of a gun. And it's cool because you get to keep all the attachments from each subclass that you've already unlocked. But the problem with the system is in the beta, you had to use certain guns to progress to the next gun. Like if you wanted to use the MP5, you had to use the AR and the battle rifle variant before you could even unlock the SMG, which I think is going to kind of create some problems, because that means even if a gun is horrible, you're still going to have to use it. Using equipment in this game is brutal. You're going to have to really time when you use your equipment. Popping a stim in this game feels like an eternity, and it's the exact same thing for frag grenades, Simtexes. It feels like your character's just taking his sweet time to use it, and in a game when you die in like under a quarter second, it's kind of annoying. So you're just gonna have to be really careful when you use your equipment and properly time it. They also removed reload canceling, which is kind of whatever to me. You can still reload cancel as long as your magazine is still in the weapon, so it's going to be a weird learning curve, but it is what it is. They're not going to change it back. I mentioned earlier how it was a lot easier to see people, but it's harder to tell who's who on this game, mostly because the enemies don't have red nameplates, they don't have red dots, health bars. There's nothing to distinguish them from your team. And I'm pretty sure that that's another thing that they aren't going to change. I don't see them adding enemy health bars or red dots this late into the game, which is just going to be kind of annoying because the blue dots sometimes do appear above the enemy's head since they are shown through walls, and since the enemies have nothing, you just can't tell them apart from your teammates. I'm not really the biggest fan of this change. I feel like you should be able to tell who your enemies are just as easily as you can tell who your friends are, but it's the way it is. This game has something that I'm not a fan of, and it has a really, really fast time to kill. The time to kill is so fast, in fact, that gunfights feel completely random. Sometimes you will be in a gunfight, and because of how flinching works in this game, you can even shoot first at someone, they'll turn around, start shooting you, and because of the flinch and the auto aim, they will directly headshot you, which is so irritating to deal with because it takes all skill out of it, and then it just is dumb luck. And I get and understand that that sometimes just happens in video games, and sometimes you just absolutely beam someone. But because it's such a fast and high time to kill, all the gunfights feel randomized because you don't really have a chance, if you get unlucky like that, to re-engage. Skill-based matchmaking has also made a return in this game. Not that big of a fan. I am completely fine with there being a small, relative, noticeable amount of skill-based matchmaking, where it does separate people, like newcomers to the game, where they aren't going against like people who have like 3 and 4 KDs. I'm fine with that kind of stuff, where there's some level of skill-based matchmaking. I'm completely fine with it. I do have an issue though when I want to have a little casual fun with my friends, or maybe play with my girlfriend, and because they're playing with me, we're just getting pulled into lobbies where it's completely impossible to casually enjoy the game. I just really think that they need to add a ranked playlist. Turn down the skill-based matchmaking on like the casual quick play mode, then turn it all the way up on ranked. So people who want that competitive side of the game, they can have it. People who want to play more casually, they can have it. And I'm not saying that I want to go around pub stomping. I'm saying that when I want to play something more casual, just let me play a casual playlist. And then if I really want to go test my ranks, see how good I am, I can play ranked and I can see where I stack up to other players, and they can give medals to see how good people really are. And let's be completely honest, what I'm saying doesn't matter at all. They aren't going to change the skill-based matchmaking system. It's going to stay the exact same. I just really don't enjoy having to try my hardest just when I want to casually enjoy a game. They hired some people from Hulu to completely redo the COD UI this year. I always thought that it was fine how it was like a vertical format, friends were alphabetical, it was easy to go off, invite people, easy to scroll through your classes, right? They completely changed it, and now it's more of a horizontal format, which I'm not really a fan of. It seems like it would work better for a mobile game. It doesn't work well in this game at all. They probably aren't going to have time, though, to fix it since the game's coming out here under 30 days. I mean, it's kind of whatever to me. It's just going to be kind of an annoying feature to deal with. Also, I don't know what's going on in the voiceover department and the music department, but the announcers in this game, I could barely hear anything that they were saying. I don't even remember what the main theme was for the multiplayer. Nothing really stood out to me, which is kind of unfortunate because if you look back at those old COD games, they always had great voice acting, great music, and I feel like it's really missing in this game. I'm not sure if they're not wanting to shell out a bunch of money for it or what's going on. It's just really lackluster and not that great in this game. I think that it needs a lot of improvement. Atmosphere is such an important part of the game, you know, it really adds to the feel and even the nostalgia of the game in the future. Like Modern Warfare 2 had an amazing soundtrack. The announcers were awesome. Like, those things just really add to a game. Mentioning kind of the sound of Modern Warfare 2, footsteps are a hot topic in this game. A lot of people think that they're fine where they're at. A lot of people think that they're way too loud. I don't really have an opinion on it because I had to play the beta with an ear infection for the entire time, so I just couldn't hear out of my left ear at all, so it didn't really make much of a difference for me, so I can't really speak on that. The spawn system in this game really isn't anything to write home about. It's the same spawn system that they had in Modern Warfare 2019. It's the squad spawn system. In my opinion, it just doesn't work well at all, and I think that they need to go back to an older spawn system where people have set parts of the map where they spawn in and they flip and rotate depending on where enemies are. In this game, I still had issues where I would spawn right on top of enemies, or I would have enemies spawn right in front of me, even on the larger maps. But with the spawning system, it's kind of another one of those things I highly doubt that they're going to change, and it's probably just going to be one of those annoying factors that we're going to have to deal with this year. And as far as like bugs go for the actual beta, I'm sure most of it's going to be fixed. There was a lot of visual glitches, like flashing bars and whatnot, and anytime you would call in a kill streak, it would like pop up on the left-hand side of your screen and like say that the kill streak was being called in or whatever. It was kind of blocking your vision, but I'm sure that's going to get removed. One thing that I'm not sure about though is the chopper gunner. I have no idea if you're not able to fly it around in this game or if it just stays stationary, because everyone who called in chopper gunners, it was stationary. So I don't know if it was a bug or what it was. They never spoke on it. If they are stationary, I would just recommend not running that score streak because then it's practically useless. I'm not sure what's going on over at Call of Duty, but I feel like the last few years the desync has been absolutely horrible. I'm going to show a clip where I clearly headshot a guy and I get a hit marker. I just don't understand how the desync has gotten even worse over the years in COD games. I just don't understand if it's a networking issue or what's going on. It's just really annoying to deal with. The desync was an issue that me and my friends were dealing with throughout the entire beta. Really all that we can do is just hope that it's a networking issue and they can fine tune it a little more before the full release of the game. As you can see, I had a lot to say about the beta. Like I said in the beginning of the video, there were some good things, there were some bad things, but overall I think that this was actually a really good beta. So I said this was a really good beta, but they dropped this beta less than a month away from the full release of the game, so I'm pretty sure this is practically going to be the full release of the game, which does worry me. For me personally, I feel like this is going to be another year of COD where there's going to be a lot of, well, the game could have been great, but there were these issues. That's pretty much how I felt all the way through Modern Warfare 2019. The engine was really slick, the guns felt great, the game overall felt great, but the gameplay was bad, the map design was bad. There were so many poor things about this game, well, that game, that it just didn't really do it for me. And I'm finding myself be caught in the same exact situation all over again. Instead of the issues from the past, though, they pretty much have made all those elements better. They've created completely new issues. For a few of the last couple COD games, it's really just felt like the developers have gotten in the way of making the game great for putting unnecessary handicaps on certain elements of the game, or unnecessary changes that just don't really need to be there. But keep in mind, everything that I'm saying is subjective and it is up to your guys' own opinion. Now, if someone came up to me and asked if I was going to get this game, for $70, I don't really know if this game is worth it. In my opinion, I don't know if any game is really worth $70. But price point aside, I think that this is going to be another solid year for Call of Duty. I'm just going to probably wait until the game goes on sale to get it. So my final thoughts are, I think that this Call of Duty has the potential to be one of the best CODs ever made. But I think that the developers lacked kind of work with the community on certain issues is ultimately going to hold this game back. Very similar to how it was in Modern Warfare 2019. But, you know, we can just kind of hope that the issues that I've mentioned today and other YouTubers have mentioned throughout the course of the beta end up getting fixed. And I think that this game will be great. So, those are my thoughts on the Modern Warfare 2 beta. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I don't really have too many other videos on my channel right now, but if you guys want to check those out, that would be much appreciated, and have a great day.